Now we're ready to move on to round two. We'll meet our next challenger after you've seen the mystery headline.
On June 12, 1989, a U.S. nuclear submarine in Esquimalt Harbor was greeted by a unique group of protesters. They are the Raging Grannies.
All right, panel. Once again, you're going for a national story. This one has an element of human interest, but there's a serious side to it as well. It may give you a little trouble, as I've often said, and sometimes been wrong. Betty Kennedy, would you start a 2-minute game, please?
This national story, is it an entertainment story?
Partly.
Yeah.
Does that mean that you may be someone who is in the entertainment field, but that may not be the story you're representing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is an entertaining aspect to this story, but it's much more serious than that part of it.
Well, I was thinking of an entertainment story where the person might be working for a particular cause. Could be a medical cause, could be a health cause, something of that nature. Am I on the right track?
What would you say to that?
Partly. Partly?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Partly.
Mm-hmm.
Would I recognize you if I saw you on the street?
Well, I hope so.
Are there two of you?
No.
We're talking...
But we're having a change of voice here.
That's true.
We don't have a split personality here.
No?
Are there three of you?
No.
What?
Are you proud of this story?
Yes.
Yes.
And it's an accomplishment?
I would say it is, yes.
I would say. What do they say, Fred? I don't care what you say.
Yeah, it is an accomplishment.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I pinned it down, Pierre. It's all yours.
Thanks a lot. There's more than one of you. More than three.
Correct.
You're a gang, right?
Are
you yourselves entertainers?
No.
No,
not
but what
in
they
that
do is
sense.
in an entertaining way. I think we're trying to, we don't want, they're not in showbiz, except what they do is very
Is this a
entertaining.
happy story?
Yes.
And
Is this-
no.
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
Did it take place this year?
Partly.
Yeah, it has done.
It has
It's
done.
ongoing.
It goes on all the time.
But there's an incident this year that you should be trying to...
Is it an annual campaign?
No.
Are you crusaders?
Partly.
Yes.
Is it for a medical cause?
No, not
Not
really.
directly medical.
Not 100%.
Scientific cause?
Yes, if you'd gotten around to nuclear, Raging Grannies protest
Oh, the
nuclear
Raging
subs. Our panel... Panel, if I can get your attention, first of all, I want to introduce them all. Joyce Stewart, Mary Rose, Fran Thoburn, and Betty Brightwell. And just before we go to our commercial break, we're going to ask these ladies to give us a sample of one of their protest songs before the break. Would you please?
War toys, good old-fashioned war toys. From pop guns, tin soldiers, and cowboy clothes, to Rambo machine guns and G.I. Joes. These are the things from which kids learn. Think of the useful skills they learn, like how to inflict a laser burn on all of their buddies at school.
They call themselves Raging Grannies. They wear pink tennis shoes and generally dress outrageously. And they cheerfully acknowledge that they rarely sing their satiric lyric in key. But they've won the ear of thousands of Canadians with their protests against nuclear arms, war toys, free trade, and environmental concerns. Founded in Victoria, BC in February of 1987, the Raging Grannies brand of satire has spread to Vancouver, Edmonton, Thunder Bay, and Ottawa. Please welcome Joyce Stewart, Mary Rose, Fran Thoburn, and Betty Brightwell.
Well, I know you. I should have got you turned up at one of my book launchings in Victoria last year. Is that right?
Yeah.
How many of there are you all together?
Well, there are 13 in our original Victoria Raging Granny group now.
Tell me, are you all grandmothers? Do you all have grandchildren?
Yeah.
Yes.
Give the numbers.
I have 4.
5.
Oh, it's not how many we have, it's how many are in this world that may not have a chance
How
to grow
many
up
have
to
you
be as
got?
old as we are. I have 4, but I'm concerned about the whole world.
2.
All right, I must confess to some feeling of sadness about the war toys. As one who collected lead soldiers and owned a Daisy air rifle, I don't think that made me particularly war-mongering. I don't think it made me want this country to go to war. Are you really sure that these war toys are anything more than an innocent pastime for the young children? Give me the evidence.
Well, you just have to look at our general society around the world. There's still wars in great many
Yeah, but the
areas
people
of
who are
the
having
world.
most of the wars don't have the money for the war toys. I mean, the war toys
they're
are made in
being-
the United States of America and in Canada. We're not at war.
Would you call America a peaceful country?
Well, at the moment, it isn't fighting any wars that I know of, but I'm suggesting...
Just
Domestically,
financing them,
maybe.
Peter.
Yeah, that's the politicians, but
Thank you.
do you
Alan.
really think young kids want to go to war, whether they have war toys or
The
not?
thing is this, that when you were growing up, Pierre, there were no nuclear weapons in the world, and war toys represented something that would not wipe out the world. And today, G.I. Joe is armed with things which symbolically are very lethal, and also the kids playing with that can grow up to feel that the way to settle conflicts is with violence. And violence today can wipe out the globe.
Here. These toys that sell today are gruesome toys which reinforce the vision one gets on television that it's easy to kill, bloodless to kill. And you're right, nothing wrong with his lead soldier, Jim, when he was a wee boy before the turn of the century. You know? But different nowadays. But you surely must be getting a good laugh if you can laugh about this kind of thing.
Well, that's what got us started, was laughing at the idiocy of human beings to be able to destroy themselves.
Granny,
Yes, dear.
think about the idiocy of the government that was going to buy nuclear submarines and buy them, and all of a sudden, peace has broken out.
And the Berlin Wall is falling
And
down.
the Berlin Wall is falling down. And we won't need any more NATO. Will we?
I think not.
We're
think
very
not?
pleased
I
about
hope
that.
not.
No war at any price.
Right.
I'm curious about how you got together. I love the idea of granny power,
Wonderful.
but how did you get together? Who started this?
We were together in a group before, and we did street theater down at the Esquimalt base in Victoria. And we pretended we were members of the nuclear emergency response team.
I love
And we went around and with things that looked like Geiger counters and ran them up and down the poles at the wharfs and things like that, and had somebody taking down the information. And you know, we looked very authentic. We wore boiler suits and hard hats and everything.
You've got a wonderful sense of humor.
Well, the whole idea was to bring it to the attention of the citizens of Victoria, what was happening in Esquimalt.
The nuclear weapons and the nuclear-powered ships coming into Canadian waters is of definite concern to us all.
Now, you pick on a number of causes, and the war toys and the nuclear question are not the only things, I gather, that you are interested in.
No,
What
we do
else? What other
environmental-
issues?
Environmental issues.
Dioxin, PCBs, clear cut. Whatever threatens the planet.
Yeah.
So primarily environmental.
Uh-huh.
No, primarily,
What reaction do you get? Or is tonight typical? You know, people are amused and delighted but want to hear more about what you're doing.
Oh, they love us.
Well,
Don't they?
yeah, they're conscious that we are doing something about it and making idiots of ourselves to bring the cause and the whole situation out in the open.
not everyone loves us. We were invited to sing at a banquet. We sing for no money, you know. We're not professionals, in case you didn't notice.
So with the few seconds left to us, could we impose, I think there's a kicker to the end of that song, isn't there? Could you give us the last half of the final stanza?
Happy to.
If they can't have what's on TV, they're screwed up psychologically. They must be prepared for World War III. While they're still impressionable kids, zap, zap.
Oh, the Raging Grannies. Thank you so much, ladies. It was a pleasure having you on, and you obviously care about humanity, so we wish you well in your songs and your crusade. Our dear friend Agnes Miller out in Kentville, Nova Scotia, suggested our second story. And that's this show from Vancouver. There'll be more, and I hope you'll join us again next week for more of the same. Good night. Thank you. Night all.
We welcome your suggestions for stories and challenges. Write us at Front Page Challenge, Post Office Box 500, Station A, Toronto, Ontario, M5W 1E6. And now this is Bernard Cowan saying good night from Vancouver.